Hello, community. I hope this video finds you well. Happy New Year. For this week's video, I'd like to talk about ways to help us manifest. This is often a time of year when people are talking about goal setting and thinking about their inspirations and insights and reflections that you may want to create in the year to come. And last video I spoke about what is our buzzword for the coming year and ways to manifest. I feel that the one thing that is definitely an absolute must is that we have to build integrity with ourselves. And how we do this is that we stay true to our word. And how do we stay true to our word is that we set obtainable goals, that we don't go for the all or nothing type of approach, because this often results in a negative result. We stay with it for a couple of weeks and then it simply just goes by the wayside because our goals are too big and we don't think of it as a process. So we may have an end goal of something big, but we then have to break it down into small, little digestible bites, little action steps that help us take those baby steps to go and create whatever it is we want to create. So, and it is our words that we speak that have to have gravity when we speak out loud, because our minds, our entire soma actually is hearing all the words that we are saying out loud and internally. So if we truly create digestible little baby step action goals to obtain what it is that we want to obtain, every time we complete that baby step, we are then learning how to trust ourselves, and we are building the confidence that we need in order to stay manifesting. So our words must have honor, which means that we must learn how to speak in a measured way. And oftentimes, it's also about learning to release our need for the approval of others, because oftentimes we say yes when we really mean no, and we overcommit ourselves or we overschedule ourselves, and we have all kinds of aspirations and we kind of set ourselves up for failure. So we do this with ourselves and we do this with others as well. So when we don't say yes right away, when we pause and have a reflection of, is that really going to nourish my nervous system, or is this going to startle my nervous system? How can I break this down into little bites? And how can I use measured words that are realistic and authentic to myself and to others? If you really think about it, think about when someone breaks their promise to you, they break their word. What happens to the energy in the relationship? We tend to have it will lose a little bit of value. We tend to lose some trust. We, increase the doubt. And also when we say we're going to do something and then we don't follow through, the same thing happens with the relationship with ourselves. So instead of saying yes right away, it could be, well, let me think about that. Just taking that pause. Learning how to say no can often mean disappointing others. And so part of increasing integrity with ourselves, we have to try to explore playing with this concept of releasing our need for the approval of others, because saying no off to others often means saying yes to ourselves. and keeping ourself nourished and keeping ourself on the journey and the path that we have chosen. But oftentimes we feel that we are being selfish. So, of course, everything has its boundaries, everything has its limits. And so how do we discern that, right? How do we place those boundaries down and learn how to release the guilt? This is a lifelong practice, but part of it is acknowledging that I do have a right to own my life. It is true, being here to serve others is often a way to gain true abundance in our soul and in our spirit. However, when we are living solely for others or too much for others, we are sacrificing ourselves, and truly, there is nothing spiritual or powerful about that. We leave ourselves drained, and oftentimes we leave ourselves resentful. And the anger and the resentment builds underneath when we overextend ourselves because we blew our own boundaries. We are the only ones that are feeling what's going on inside for us. And can we truly give ourselves permission to develop that authentic relationship with our whole soma, with our whole self, mind, body, and nervous system? Releasing the need for the approval of others, releasing the need for, acceptance at the expense of truly abandoning ourselves. So, can we give ourselves permission to own our own life? It is ours. And it is not honorable to walk around the earth feeling depleted and angry and resentful underneath everything. To develop an authentic relationship with ourselves where we can show up our best self. This is how we truly serve the world. When everyone is living their best self, connected to their own somas, living out their heart's desires, truly there is no competition. We're just here allowing our soul to express itself through our actions and through our relationships. But we first have to own it and give ourselves permission to own it. So, this is why it's so important to feel inside the soma. That when we say yes, do we really mean yes? Is there something coming up from inside that truly screams yes with full abandonment and we know it's going to nourish us? Or are we saying no and that's suppressing ourselves? Staying connected to how our responses to life feel inside our soma. Giving ourselves permission to own our own life. I hope this is helpful. I love hearing your feedback and comments, and wishing you just great abundance and happiness and joy and love in the coming years, and truly allowing ourselves to be and unfold into our best self. Oftentimes it's not about creating, it's letting ourselves unfold and letting that authentic relationship just unfold by staying true to ourselves. This is how we gain the emotional freedom that we're all in search of. Namaste.